Should you watch 量産型リコプラモ女子の人生組み立て記 or mass-produced Riko Plastic Girls Life Assembly Note? Timestamps are below. So what is this show all about? In the very first Fast and the Furious movie, Vin Diesel's character Dominic Toretto, one of his most iconic lines is living my life a quarter mile at a time, because in those 10 seconds he is free. In the plastic model hobby, we have a saying that goes, gunpla is freedom. But I think this is self-serving, because gunpla is a portmanteau of Gundam plastic models. Gundam is made by Bandai, and Bandai is not the only plastic model company in the world. So the better term is plamo is freedom. Plamo being the portmanteau of plastic model. So I think this is a better saying. So the show tries to picture an average girl, supposedly, and her adventures of being a rank-and-file employee, thus the mass-produced. Because when you are a file employee, you don't feel unique. You feel like you're a mass-produced commodity. So what can you expect in each episode? Riko's everyday work life, all the fun and excitement of being a typical Japanese blue-collar worker. She works in an event organizing company, and during the planning stages of an event, they encounter an obstacle, be it how to proceed with the planning of the event and so on. Riko turns to a shop, which I will introduce later when I go to the characters. He introduces the franchise of the plastic model that Riko chose, or what he recommended, and there are solutions right after Riko finishes the model kit and she gets inspired. This will be spoiler free, so I won't go into more details on what their solutions are. Let's introduce the characters. Fun Create is the name of the company that Riko works in. We have Riko Komukai, the main character, played by Yuki Yoda. She's a Nagasaki 46 second gen member. Nagasaki 46 is one of the biggest idol groups in Japan. This is her first ever starring role in a drama series. Born and raised in Fukuoka, Kyoko Nakano, an older sister figure played by Karen Fuji, who is also quite a decorated entertainer herself, member of Happiness J-pop group, and a former member of E-Girls and Shukagen. Shinji Takagi, Kohai or Junior Toriko, played by Ayumu Mochizuki. Disclaimer, I don't really know a lot about J-drama in general, but based on my research, he is a newcomer, Atsushi Sagawatari, one of the 3 seniors in Riko's department, played by Yoda Yoshiaki. Again, no spoilers, so I won't be explaining more about his character. Hitoshi Kijimuga, another one of the seniors, played by Yoshiwoki Morishita. For him, it's really a spoiler if I try to explain him, so moving on. Akira Inuzuka. Of the 3 seniors, he's the most senior. He's the minister of the department, played by Magi. Magi is just a screen name, it's just a nickname. The following 2 characters are in a different department. We have Ryota Oishi. He's the ace employee, the best in the company, played by Ayumu Nakajima. Yuki Asai, the rival to Riko, played by Oshiro Maeda. No, I only recognize him because he also had a role in another Japanese TV drama called Kana Kana. And the only reason why I know about Kana Kana is because one of my Oshi, Shiraishi, is a cast member of that show. Let's go to the characters for the Yajima model shop. We have Chiemi Ikuta, a part-timer assistant / mentor sometimes. Anyway, she's played by Ishikawa Eriga. She's a member of Plamo Girls Project, which is an idol group that held an audition via Cheers, which is an app where you vote for up-and-coming personalities, idols. And then the winners of certain events get invited to audition for roles or spots in idol groups or TV shows, whatever. And finally, we have Hajime Yajima, also called as Yasan in the show. He owns the plastic model shop and is the primary mentor, played by Tanaka Koji. Before I give a conclusion, if it's worth a watch, I want to dive into 2 issues that I had with the show. The first one is not average. As the viewer, we are supposed to suspend belief that Riko is average in every way, looks and all. But I find it almost impossible to believe that Riko is average looking. The actress they chose is one of the most popular members of one of the most popular idol groups in Japan. She is a fashion model. She has released 2 very successful gravure photo books. You can't suspend belief that she's average looking. Second issue I have is when you're in the hobby, you deal with spray paints, thinners. All of those do not mix well with your lungs. And I think the show does not do a good enough job not showing the best practices. Like in this picture, for example, I won't spoil what episode it is or what they were doing. In this picture alone, Yasan is using an airbrush. Even if you have a spray booth, you should still wear a respirator. Based on experience, I regretted an airbrush without a respirator. Didn't end. Should you watch it? Yes. For beginners looking to get into the hobby,量産型Rico does a good job explaining the background of the show or the franchises that the plastic model kits are based on. It may not make people new to the hobby into expert, but it gives them enough to work on to get them interested. The model making scenes are done well enough to entertain new modelers and get them excited to continue enjoying the hobby, or for prospective skill modelers to draw them in so they can start. Experienced modelers will also enjoy the model making scenes, as even though the best practices for safety are not done well, it is still enjoyable to watch. Otherwise uninterested celebrities enjoy themselves in the hobby or are so dedicated in. I have been in this hobby for nearly 3 decades. One of the most enjoyable things for me is seeing new people try out the hobby. Not only do I see myself in them when I was younger, I love this hobby and I love seeing more people enjoying the hobby. I feel a sense of belongingness, that I am part of a community that is alive and growing. Japanese drama fans will enjoy the light-hearted subject matter. The drama in this show is emotional enough to drive the story forward, but nothing heavy or overbearing to deviate from the hobby focus of the show. It is a welcome break for drama fans who want a fun experience, and they may even want to try out the hobby. The show teaches the importance of having a hobby. It allows us to take a break from our daily lives, a chance to recharge our batteries, so to speak, an opportunity to refocus so we can clear our minds, and the tranquility that you experience when you are so into your hobby might just give you the answer to the questions you face, just as Riko did throughout the entire show. There's a Blu-ray box set coming out later this year. It contains behind the scenes of the model making scenes. I may or may not get this because I don't think the behind the scenes is worth 21,000 yen without shipping. So thank you